Hi, I'm A. Peck, the executive editor of Inside Unmanned Systems, live from the floor of AUVSI Xponential 2022. And we're here with two people from Teledyne to tell us about some new developments, Teledyne FLIR. And our first up is Dan Walker, who I believe is the vice president of product development for OEM at Teledyne FLIR. And Dan's going to talk to us a bit about neutrino. So neutrino, the state words in there.
A lot of jargon in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks for asking, Gabe. You know, the neutrino is a product family, and the one that we're talking about today is the SWAP optimized series, right? And so, as the name sounds, size, weight, and power optimized. What we've done is we've taken a very small form factor. We've completely designed a new focal plane that allows us to run that focal plane hot, which isn't as it sounds. It's really 120 to 130 Kelvin, but we're allowed to use then smaller microcoolers. So we can make a very size, weight, and optimized payload, VGA 15 micron or SXGA 8 micron, the same form factor and a very tight payload. So that's the basis of the SWAP series.
And it has certain advantages. It's ruggedized, right?
It's absolutely ruggedized. It's qualified for full mil range. It's also shock and vibe. So all the environmentals that you would want for a military platform.
Right. Given today's environment, it's also, I understand that it's quiet.
It's very quiet. Yeah, there are many different cooler technologies out there. Some are the rotary, some are single piston linear. This is a twin opposed piston, so it's very, very quiet. So not just electrical noise, but audible noise.
And there's also low vibration, right?
Very much, yeah. Low vibration is important in a gimbal because if vibration causes stability issues, and then you have to compensate for that in the gimbal, which also takes power.
And there's certain, it's used in certain kinds of gimbals and airframes, right? And,
yeah, it can be embedded in an airframe, or more often than not, it's in a gimbal.
Okay, and again, you say it's a defense application, so how do you see that?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, more and more, you have your classic programs of record, and then you also have a lot of military users buying direct from tier ones. So we work directly with tier ones, and they might sell to a program of record, but more often than not, it's a commercial product.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. So who on the commercial side is it?
I'm probably not at liberty to say who all uses them, but
well, what type of person?
Sure. Yeah, so the Type 2 drones, the Tier 2 drones for sure.
Yeah.
So some of all ISR applications were good candidates for the neutrino.
Okay. And how, we have a little time. How does this differ from, say, the Performance series and the other series?
Great question there, too. Yeah, Performance series, as the name sounds, has higher frame rates. It has larger focal planes. We cool the focal plane quite a bit colder to get further out, and we put larger optics on it so we can see out past 20 miles.
Wow, okay. And I guess there's another piece here, the ground ISR?
The ground ISR is another great example. Border surveillance, all perimeter surveillance, you want to be able to see far away. Those products aren't as SWAP driven, so it's more about performance. Right,
and can you just say a little bit, we actually do ISR themes, can you say a little bit more about that?
In what way?
Well, just the idea that maybe a particular way it might be deployed in a specific situation.
Okay, so the ground ISR often are in what we call sealed tubes, so environmental on towers. They're either fixed towers or deployable, rapidly deployable. Those types of systems are also really critical for counter UAS. So if you look at some of the counter UAS requirements, you would take a typical ISR application, put it on a mast, put some radars around it, and you would use that for counter UAS.
Oh, great. That really fleshes that out. So, Dan, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, the other thing I would add is 3 years ago, we acquired a fantastic optics company, New England Optical Systems. That allowed us to integrate continuous zoom lenses with mid-wave IR cameras. What that really has enabled us to do is essentially provide a block camera of mid-wave solutions to the industry. And anybody who's integrated lenses and cameras knows that can be very, very difficult. So we've taken that off the table, and we're doing it for them.
Great. Well, thanks.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
And then Kelly,
Yes.
So what's your title, Kelly?
I'm a product manager in our commercial UAS business.
Oh, okay, great.
Commercial industrial.
Right, and we're gonna have a duel.
Okay.
All right, so
I've got this new Hadron 640R
and
here.
I have this old school that no young person knows what it is, a $50, and they're pretty much kind of the same circumference. And,
That's the whole idea.
so tell us a little more about
Lots
that.
of power in a small form
Great.
factor. What Hadron 640R is an update to our Hadron line. For a few years, we've had what we call the Hadron 320 on the market. So that's a thermal camera, 320 by 240 resolution, non-radiometric, 12 megapixel EO camera paired. This is the update. This is 640 by 512 thermal resolution, radiometric, and we've paired it with an EO camera that we designed ourselves that's 64 megapixel. So we've gone to all the work to put all this hardware together, align it. It's an integration module that our customers use to get a big head start on equipping their drones with high resolution thermal and visible.
So essentially, it's a dual sensor.
It's a dual sensor EO/IR radiometric. The upgrade to the new Hadron is that it has both USB and MIPI output. And that's the preferred data protocol for a lot of our customers is
Great.
MIPI.
And there's really a lot of use cases here, right? I mean, there's UAS, there's UGV, there's robotics.
Absolutely.
Talk a bit more about that.
Yeah, primarily this is used on UAS, but there are groups, I can't talk about who they are, but robotic groups, ground-based systems that are using this for all sorts of reasons. Basically eyes of the robot.
Yeah, and as I think you know, our current issue has a piece by Art Stout from Teledyne FLIR called AI at the Edge. There's also an AI piece to the Hadron?
Well, it's certainly compatible with any AI system. It's a sensor, so it will feed data into an AI network, and you can do with that what you desire.
Great. And on the thermal side, you can really see through darkness and...
For sure. Smoke, fog, darkness.
Right. All the lovely flying conditions, right?
And with the high resolution, I have to tell you, I have pictures I can share with you.
That'd be great, because it might be something you can print too.
Law enforcement application where we have a less a sensor from a competitor with less resolution. We're taking picture of a guy out in a field, and you really can't tell. Is he waving? Is he a happy guy?
Right.
As it turns out,
right.
he's one of our guys, but he has a firearm in his hand. With this, you can see that's a gun, and without it, you have no idea.
That's
so
right.
as far as raising situational awareness, helping law enforcement make the right decisions, you need this level of resolution.
And just in terms of who it's built for, I mean, both for OEM and integrators, or?
We sell this to integrators, both the commercial, industrial, and government defense, both external customers and internal to Teledyne.
And if I understand it right, a couple of the competitive advantages are that the time to market is decreased. And
absolutely, yeah. If you said, okay, I want to use a FLIR boson camera, I want to pair it with an EO camera, you just can't go buy an EO camera. You buy a sensor, then you have to buy a lens, then you have to design the housing to pair the two together, you have to actively align it. We've done all that work. You just buy this thing and it's ready to go. We also provide drivers so that this can talk to some of the major microprocessors that people are using, like the Qualcomm RB5, the Snapdragon 865, NVIDIA, Jetson Nano. Those drivers and reference software are also part of get to market quickly.
And is it accurate that another advantage would be that the development cost is also lower?
Sure. I mean, you're not paying engineers time to do all the stuff that we've already done.
Right. Yeah. Well, great. And you do it so they don't have to.
That's right.
You're here to help.
This is complicated stuff, and we just wanted to take a lot of the work out of it.
Yeah. Don't be fooled by how small the box is, right? And,
correct.
And so, anything you want to add?
It's shipping in July. Engineering samples are available in June. The process that we encourage is get an engineering sample and start the integration work. We have a support team that will help you with that. And then when you're ready to go, starting in July, you can buy these.
And is it manufactured in Wilsonville, or is
it's manufactured in Santa Barbara, in Goleta.
2 miles from my house.
There you go.
And yeah, I remember,
USA made.
All right, I remember when the sign changed from Fleer to Teledyne Fleer, but
It was a good thing.
great. Well, okay. Well, thank you both. Really appreciate your
thank you.
time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.